Hello everybody, welcome back to round 4 of TTL. My name is Kieran McGinley and I'll be taking you through round 4 in this video. Let's jump straight in then with the driver standings. At the top there we've got Spike on 51 points, only a point behind is Blizard on 50, Darren Sinclair on 33 points, Raikkonen's in 4th on 26, Sao Paulo in 5th on 25, Traw's in 6th on 22, Light E in 7th on 20 points, Useless in 8th on 14 points, as is the Gort there in the Mercedes, CG there in 10th place on 12 points. On to the next page, we've got Maze in 11th place on 7 points, Steph in 12th with 6 points, Humbug there in 13th on 4 points, Weed Nation in 14th on 2 points, and joint 15th is Alan K and Paisley, both scoring a single point. And now it's on to the constructors. 9 teams have scored points so far this season. Renault on top on 57 points. Then we've got Williams on 52 points there. Third is Force India on 37 points, only 3 points behind them is Toro Rosso in 4th, Mercedes there in 5th on 32, then it's Sauber in 6th on 27, only a point behind McLaren on 26, as are Red Bull also on 26 in 8th place. Ferrari there in 9th on 12 points and Haas at the bottom, yet to score this season. So with that said then, let's go on to the hot lap. The numbering at Sochi Autodrom isn't easy. All starts at around turn 3, but to get the last corner right, and the start line comes at you straight away as you head towards the slight kink of turn 1. Keep the steering wheel as light as possible. Open the DRS as you head towards turn 2. This becomes the first real braking zone of the first lap. Brake just at the 100-meter board and make sure you don't lock up heading into turn 2. Some class that as a turn 3, that light kink there, but not really, as we now head into the turn 3, this long left-hander. Keep it tight to the curb as much as you can, heading now into turn 4. Now it's a little bit of a straight now as we're heading towards turn number 5 now. Keep the car in line there, don't use too much curb on the left hand side, you risk a lot of oversteer. Now heading into 6 and 7, the slight kink of 6, and then into turn 7 there. Try to avoid the curbs on this one, it just spins up the tyres. Now heading into turns 8 and 9, this 2 double apex left kinks there, keep away from that outside as you head through turn number 9. Into turn 10 then, as you head out the corner here, turn 11 is this slight kink here, DRS wide open now, and just be careful that you have enough aero to keep you on the road here as you go through the left-hander of turn 12 just here. Keep the car nice and stable as you head into the braking zone. Make sure the steering wheel is straight as you head into turn 13, then through 14 now. Overtaking here is very difficult, but keep the car in check as you head out of turn 14 there. Into the left-handers of 15 and then through the right-hander of 16, both again 90-degree corners as now you head towards turn 17. 2 right-hand corners left to go now as we head on. Keep away from the curb if possible there. Use as much curb on the inside there to help your exit, and that's a lap of Russia. Now it's on to qualifying. So, of course, we now head to round number 4. We're ready for qualifying here, and if you do fancy, if you've been watching these videos and you want to try out for a race, then well, spaces are open. We have reserve drivers, but we need permanent McLaren drivers. Can you be a driver that saves McLaren and, well, go along for the ride and see how you go? Drivers are needed. If you contact Maze, who you'll see in the race today on the PS4, we can get you a trial and see if you can make the cut. If you don't fancy TTL, well, you could try the sister league, the Friday League. It's in its first season. Drivers are needed for that as well. Every Fridays at 8 PM. TTL, of course, every Tuesdays and Thursdays. You don't have to be a permanent driver. You can sign up as a reserve, but spaces are available. Today, though, we've got 19 drivers out of 20, which is incredible turnout from these guys, and they really do have a lot of fun here today. As we see Humbug here, he's one of the reserve drivers as well, driving in that McLaren. No permanent drivers for the orange races, but they'll be hoping to sign someone very, very soon. Let's have a look then. Weed Nation in the Williams there. He is having a good time. 14th place at the moment with only 2 points, but he can count himself a little bit unlucky recently. He's a good racer, showed some good form towards the end of last season, and we'll just be hoping to get some good points on the board. There's Geordie as well, as I'm trying to have a look through the drivers' standings. I'm not seeing Geordie just yet, so it is his first race of the season. and he's driving for the Haas today. We'll have a look at Traw here as well, who is currently in 6th place for Sauber, 22 points so far. He'll be hoping to get up towards the top of the table. The championship leader is here today, but hasn't left the pits yet. Spike in the Renault, there he goes. He'll be wanting to continue his great form recently and try and extend his lead at the top. Blizard here is in 2nd place in the championship, only a point behind Spike. And, well, Blizard will be hoping to keep up this momentum as well. So we'll have a look and see who is on a flying lap. It's always going to be difficult in qualifying because I don't really know who left the pit lane first, but I will do my best to see who is on their lap so far. We've got Plaster heading into the long left-handers here. That is turns 3 and 4. Huge left-hander here that really can be a pain on the tyres if you don't take that corner right into turn number 4. And coming up now to turn 5, the right-hander here. Very easy here to lose your concentration. The orange policeman there you'll see on the curbs, you can take them. The Russian Grand Prix is very lenient on corner cutting and track extending, so it's worth trying to push the car as far as you can, because more often than not you're not actually going to get punished for it. But we'll see Plaster now on his lap, coming up towards the DRS zone, the 2nd DRS zone. We'll have a see about Raikkonen. Where is he? He is towards the start of the lap, I think. Yes, he is. He's coming towards 6 and then turn 7 as well. We'll see Humbug here, who is heading towards the end of his lap, going through this sort of stadium section now through turn 14, which is very difficult on the oversteer, into turn 15 and then through 16 as well. Coming into sector 3 now, as we head towards that turn 17 and 18, sort of right-hand corners from now on. Plaster sets the fastest lap of the session, 1:37.1, as Humbug goes faster, 1:35.6. We've got Geordie there going 1:35.9, and Light goes quickest now. He sets a 1:34.8. We'll see Traw as well, currently 6th place in the standings right now. I think he's not the next person to set a lap, because it is Blizard, 1:33.8 from the 2nd place man in the championship. Traw then heading towards the line. He heads into the pits. He's not going to complete his lap, as I'm just trying to find the next person to set a lap time. We've got yellow flags up ahead as green flags come out now, so it's a little off from someone there as Darren Sinclair starts his lap. Alan Kay then heading towards the line. He goes P6 in the Toro Rosso. The Gort then heading around the final few corners now. Have a look at the leaderboards here. 7 drivers have set a lap time so far. And as the Gort heads around turn 16, heading towards 17 and 18 now. Qualifying very important here at the Sochi Autodrom. Not many places you can overtake, as Useless goes there in P5. The Gort sets a 1:34.7. Weed Nation heading around now. We've got Darren Sinclair using as much of the track as possible, as I'm trying to keep up with all of the drivers here. We've got Plaster up ahead, who is trying to set a lap time, as Weed Nation goes P10, 1:36.2. Darren Sinclair coming through the 2nd DRS zone. So we've got Pazos now heading towards the line. He has not set a lap time just yet, as we'll bring up all these details so far. So of course Raikkonen going onto the super softs as he normally does for his first run, and we will see Little Piece now onto a flying lap. Darren Sinclair heading towards the start-finish line now, through turn 16 and then through 17, then through 18 now. What can Darren Sinclair do? He goes top, 1:33.5. That's the fastest lap of the session. So we missed a Spike there with a 1:34.3. Puts him in 3rd place right now. As I think Pazos is on a lap, is he? He is, and I believe the only other person is Little Piece now, who is heading through. it's a difficult circuit, Sochi. It's not easy to get right. Not many overtaking opportunities. Of course, in the past, there have only been 4 races in actual Formula 1 in real life, and they've all been won by Mercedes. So, how's your luck there? Hopefully today it'll be someone other than a Mercedes. We'll have to wait and see though. Little piece then heading towards turn 13 and then through 14. Very difficult that section to get absolutely spot on. You've got to be careful that you don't light up the rear tyres. As Little piece now heading through turns 15, then through 16. And what's the lap time so far? It's looking a little off the pace for Little piece right now. But as he rounds the final corner, he'll come across the line. 1:35.7 from Little piece, puts him P9, and of course he is on the super soft tyre. And Plaster has retired from the session. Baumgartner then on a flying lap. He's heading, I believe, towards the end of it. Yes, he is, in that McLaren, and in that 3 shades of green helmet there. Very difficult to miss him going around the track. Baumgartner heads across the line and doesn't set a lap time. Pazos then, I'm sure he's setting a lap time now. We've got yellow flags in all 3 sectors right now. That doesn't make a difference as to lap times at all. Plaster is the only retirement, possibly because he cut the track and knew he wouldn't have enough time to make it back to the pits. Pazos then, still on a flying lap right now. Heading through the second DRS zone in that number 10 car. Past the camera he goes. Sector 1 and 2 got yellow flags. Always difficult to tell in qualifying who it's going to be. And heading into turn 13 and 14 now is Pazos. Of course, driving for a Ferrari last year, driving for a Sauber this year. But shouldn't be ruled out that easily, that's for sure. As he rounds turn 16, heading towards turn 17 and 18 now. Important to get these 2 corners right. They are crucial to your lap time. 90-degree corners are always a bit of a tricky outcome. Pazos comes across the line and he doesn't go quicker than his best, and he still has not put a clean lap on the board. Light then in 5th place right now, and he is heading towards turn 15 and 16 now. And what can he do in the Ferrari? As he gets a bit of oversteer there, and he's abandoned that lap, I think. Or he's on an out lap, I should say. Weed Nation then, as I believe he's run out of fuel. Yeah, that looks like Weed Nation is in fuel-saving mode, so that is qualifying done for him. He will start in 6th place right now. Useless is also on an out lap, just trying to find someone who is on a lap. Baumgartner running a little wide there. I believe that will be his lap time over. Alan Kay here coming across the line. He'll start a lap now. As we've got Mays heading out for his 1 and only lap, I believe, unless he's planning to do 2 laps on those ultra soft tyres. We've got CG as well in the pits, Steph in the pits as well. And they will not get a chance to set a lap time now. We've got Traw retiring from the session, and he has decided to pack up and, well, leave the track there. He's on the super soft tyres, so whether he steps in the top 10 or not is another question. Here comes Blizard then on for his out lap, and he'll start a flying lap now. The Gort has retired from the session as he abandons that lap. We've got Pazos there up now into 8th place. So it's a good lap from Pazos, moves himself up into 8th place, 1:35.4. Humbug here heading towards the start-finish line now. And where is he going to place the car now? He comes across the line and goes P6. Humbug up into 6th place for the McLaren. Little Piece has retired from the session, and he has abandoned that lap. Useless in 13th place here at the moment, 1:35.8 he lies on. Still though, Mays is yet to set a lap, and it looks like he will get another chance if he's got enough fuel to set a lap. Here he comes around the final 2 corners now, and what's the lap time going to be from Mays as he crosses the start-finish line? He goes P5. That's a good lap from him, 34.8, as Blizard retires from the session, and he's crashed out. He's crashed out of the session, and I'm trying to figure out where that is. Is that... on the start-finish straight? No, it's not. I'm not sure where that is, but it's not where I thought it was. Light then heading towards the final few corners now. We've got to keep an eye on Spike as well, as he's coming on to the turn 6 and 7 now. We'll head back on board with Light as he runs slightly wide. Checkered flag comes out. So Weed Nation, CG and Steph all finish their laps. Everybody else can have a chance to better their lap time. Meanwhile, I was staying on board with Light at the moment. Useless gets himself up into 10th place and took 7/10 off that last lap time, and he's still going for another lap. Raikkonen then heading on for another lap. He's currently on some ultra soft tyres. He set his best lap on the super softs, and Light has retired from the session then, so Raikkonen outside of the top 10, so those super softs really aren't going to do anything. Darren Sinclair though heading towards the start finish line. Raikkonen has retired from the session. He'll start P13 if Alan Kay has anything to say about it. Darren Sinclair rounds the final corner. Can he better his lap time? Yes, he can through sector 3, but not for his best lap time. Stays at a 33.5. Spike comes across the line 33.8 and puts himself up in the second place only just by 0.02 of a second. He separates himself from Blizard there. Useless then is coming around the final few corners, as we've got to keep an eye on Maze, who comes into the pit. Useless and Alan Kay are the only people to set a lap time. Alan Kay then down in 16th place. What can he do as Useless, I believe, is still out there as well. So Alan Kay rounding the final corner. Can he better P16? He goes P14, and Useless there comes home in 4th place. Fantastic lap from him. Useless starts in 4th place in the Force India. But there we have it though. Darren Sinclair takes pole position for the Russian Grand Prix. So then, Darren Sinclair takes pole position by 0.3 of a second. Spike there in 2nd, Blizard in 3rd. Correction, it was 0.04 of a second. Still pretty close. Useless in 4th, Gort in 5th, Maze in 6th, Light is in 7th, Humbug 8th, Weed Nation 9th, Geordie's in 10th. Troy is then 11th, Paisl's 12th, Raikkonen 13th, Alan Kay 14th, Little Piece 15th, Baumgartner 16th, Plaster 17th, CG and Steph starting P18 and 19, having not set a time. The race after this edit. So, round 4 of the championship. Still a bit of nerves heading to new teams and new teammates, but all of that now is very much underway. With empty McLaren permanent drivers, they're going to have a hard time and may find themselves having inconsistent results. That being said though, they still are a way up the table, and they will be hoping to secure their drivers sooner rather than later. Let's head on to the formation lap then and keep an eye on certain drivers. So then, as the drivers head away, 27 laps of the Russian Grand Prix to be had. First race in 2014, and only Mercedes in real life have ever won here. Watch out here for turn number 2. That is going to be a huge thing. It's technically the first corner you have to brake for, but it is turn 2, and this lovely complex into turn 3. Just keep your foot in and keep that steering wheel locked to the left, as you have to be careful there going into turn 4 not to lock up. Meanwhile though, Darren Sinclair is the man to watch. He is on pole position and he has a lot to prove after he's fallen slightly behind. He's on 37 points. Sorry, he's on 33 points. I was looking at the wrong table there. But still in with a good shout of getting some points on the board. We have Spike in 2nd place, the championship leader, 51 points, only a point separating him and Blizard here. So watch out for those guys, as Blizard here is falling way back. He might be at the pause menu right now. Useless though had a fantastic qualifying. He may find himself 8th place and a reserve driver, but he's having a good season so far, and I think teams will be looking for his signature sooner rather than later. The Gort, always a regular for Mercedes, currently in 5th place right now, and his teammate Maze follows him. They'll both be hoping for a decent race today and put some points on the board for Mercedes. Draw down there in 11th, never rule him out. He's always searching for those points, and he'll be looking for some points today. Raikkonen as well, starting on the super soft tyre. Watch out for him as well. He's going to be important heading towards the end of the race. Baumgartner, not a lot is known about him, but that doesn't mean you need to rule him out. One of the reserve drivers today, with CG there in the Renault, in the Ferrari in 18th, and Steph in the Renault in 19th. Watch out for them. They're going to be attacking from the very start. As we head round the final 2 corners now, we're going to have the race after this edit. So then, here we go then. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. What are the starts like for everybody? We've got the Force India there getting a fantastic start. Darren Sinclair cuts off the Renault there, but we've got Blizard round the outside they go. We've already got contact at the back there as a Red Bull goes flying off the track, heading into turn 2 now. Can everybody keep it clean? We've got a Mercedes there running into the back of Blizard. Blizard has to take avoiding action, takes the outside of the track. Here we now go now through turn 3 now. Can everybody still keep it clean as we head through now? Darren Sinclair still leads the way. Blizzard there. Spike's going to try a right to move up the inside of Blizzard. They somehow stay away from each other, and Blizzard moves up, or stays put, or should I say Eustace there trying to go now up the inside of Spike. Spike has lost the back end, and Eustace, can he get a car lengths ahead? He's still got the inside as they head through turn 7 now, but Eustace backs out of it and doesn't risk any front wing damage at all. Good start from Eustace though. He is really on the back of Spike there. We've got Light there in 5th place. He's up 2 places from his start, so that's a fantastic start from him. But it looks like so far everybody's had a decent start. We've kept it clean so far though. The Gort having to defend from Traw now, who's moved up 3 positions. Can he make it 4 positions from the start now? Having a go up the inside of the Gort, and can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Up the inside he goes, or sorry, around the outside he goes, and up into 7th place. Good start from Traw. Not a good start for the Gort, not a good start for Humbug either. He's dropped 4 positions from the start. We did have Raikkonen there. I think that was the Red Bull who went off a slightly wider line and took out an advertising board. We've got CG there who looks like he's coming into the pits, and he is. CG there having front wing damage, so he wanted to make those soft tyres work as long as possible, but that has not worked. He got caught up for whatever reason and finds himself in the pit lane very early on. Hazel's here on the soft tyre, finds himself in 10th place right now. Really good start from him so far, but he's got Geordie down the inside, and can Geordie make the move stick? Locks up getting into turn 2, but gets the move done, and Geordie finds himself up into the points. Light finds a way past Useless here. And Eustace is still going to try and have a go, but Light gets up into 4th place here, loses that back end and invites Eustace to have another go once again. And Mays is now going up the inside of Eustace. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. He'll run slightly wide here, but Eustace here is starting to fall back, and now Eustace is under pressure from Traw here as runs slightly wide, does Straw, but he will keep up that pressure. Eustace though still on the back of Mays, and as they head through turns 8 and 9, now coming up into turn 10, they've got into the into turn 10. And Mays runs slightly wide, and now they make contact, and Mays and Eustace come together, and Eustace has lost his entire front wing, and Eustace there had a good start and was very competitive, but he's lost all of that front wing now, and he's going to have to come into the pits and change his strategy up. Mays of course was the other driver involved, but it looks like that car is okay, and it just looked like a little bit of oversteer from Mays there. I don't think there was a lot Eustace could have done to avoid that at all. But of course there will be an investigation after the race if Eustace wants there to be. But in the end though, Eustace coming into the pits now, and he's going to have to change strategy and stat. What is he going to do though? Is he going to go onto a set of soft tyres? What about the super softs that are open to him now? Well, he's got to think quickly, and this could be the defining moment of his race. Meanwhile though, Traw now side by side with Mays as they head towards the long straight here, and can Traw get up the position? Yes, he can on the super soft tyres. Traw's showing some incredible pace here as we've got a car going off. I believe that's Weed Nation. It is Weed Nation, and he's hit the wall there, Weed Nation, in that Williams, and it looked like he just lost the back end heading out of turn number 2 there and headed straight into the wall, the Williams driver. Well, he's only got 2 points on the board this season so far. That's not going to help his confidence. Meanwhile, Paisl's up into 9th place. Geordie's trying to fight with Baumgartner here for the last points place, and Baumgartner driving for the orange racer of the McLaren, trying to go down the inside. They make contact, but Baumgartner makes his way up into 10th place. Meanwhile then, the Gort now trying to chase down on Mays. Mays maybe a little shaken after that incident with Useless there, but he's got to refocus now and keep an eye on the Gort, who is obviously teammates here, and we don't want a Rosberg-Hamilton situation here. And the Gort going around the outside of Mays. Is Mays going to let it easy? No, he's not. He does put up a little bit of a fight there. He's not going to let his teammate go that easily, and they're still side by side, the number 6 and the number 10 car, and the Gort runs wide, and Mays gets the position back. Now the Gort has to be careful of Humbug here, and can Humbug get this position up? I've got switched over to the wrong camera here, but we've got loads of positions behind us. Baumgartner here along with Geordie trying to chase down Pazels. We've got look at this train here now as we move in. That's the end of the train is Plaster, I believe, in 14th place. So good racing so far, lots to talk about, but as we head on to lap number 4, we've still got the 2 Mercedes in front of Humbug as Weed Nation comes into the pits now. We've got Baumgartner now trying to go down the inside. Does he get the move done? Not quite, as the Gort moves up, still fighting Humbug here, as Geordie trying to fight Baumgartner as well. So much action happening, I'm not really sure where to look. And that's the Haas of Little Piece running very wide there. And, well, Alan Kay, I'm not sure if he ran into the back of him. That was fantastic reactions if he didn't run into the back of him. And Alan Kay just trying to keep out of trouble right now as he's trying to fight now Plaster. Sister cars here as Alan Kay slightly taps the wall, comes back across Plaster. And Plaster here on the soft tyres could actually get the move done as they head in towards turn numbers 8 and 9. And Plaster has the move done, but Alan Kay isn't done just yet. As they head into turn 10. Can Alan Kay get a move done? Into the DRS zone he goes. Alan Kay will have DRS, and Plaster not going to give him too much space out on track, that's for sure, as Raikkonen moves up ahead of Steph here. Alan Kay, though, meanwhile, side by side as they head in towards turn number 13. Can they keep it clean? Yes, they can. And they've got to give each other the room as they head through turn 11 now. And sorry, turn 14 there, sorry. I'm miles back, heading into turn 15 now and 16. They're just good racing from these two so far, and just about keeping it ahead is Plaster right now as they head towards turn 17 now. And Plaster takes to the uses as much of the track as possible. Alan Kay trying to use a wider line, maybe get a better exit, and he will have DRS once again. And look how much of a better exit he might have here, as DRS will open in just a short while now. And Alan Kay opens up the DRS here, and can he get the move done? Going around the outside of Plaster. Can he still get a move done? No, he can't. And for Alan Kay here, it looks like Plaster is on a mission right now on those soft tyres, and he's not going to let this move go. Meanwhile, Baumgartner and Pazels here still trying to fight it out. Geordie is there as well. And just up ahead of them is Humbug on the ultra soft tyres. Pazels, though, on the soft tyres, he's got good pace right now, keeping himself in 9th place and keeping himself battling as well. Geordie trying to put Baumgartner under pressure here, and they make contact here as Geordie runs into the back of Baumgartner, and he'll have a bit of front wing damage, will Geordie there. But will it be enough front wing damage to make him make a decision on whether to pit or not? It looks okay, that front wing, but little differences like that always make a huge difference. As we've got Baumgartner and Pazels still trying to battle it out, because Baumgartner got the move done. He runs very wide there, hits the wall, and off goes his front wing, the left-hand side of it, and he's gonna have to come into the pits now. Brash move, and he just couldn't stop the car down in time. The Gort and Mays, though, battling it out now. These two teammates are just gonna fight hammer and tong here, as I haven't really had a chance to look up ahead at the front of the pack because there's been so much happening in the midfield. We've got now Mays and the Gort here along the main straight, heading into turn 1 now. This is technically turn number 1, and the Gort here trying to use the slipstream as well as Mays trying to break it as well. But at the moment, the two Mercedes teammates keeping it clean so far. But now the Gort's going to try down the move on the inside into turn 3. Can he keep that move done? Mays is stuck outside wide, and there's nothing he can do. And the Gort, who just go through the open door there, Mays has left him, has found a way through, and now Humbug could try and move down the inside of Mays here, but Humbug just couldn't quite get the move done. The Gort up into 6th place. At the head of the field then, Darren Sinclair leads Blizard by 0.6 of a second here. The battle for the lead is hotting up. Of course, Blizard, look at this now, trying to break as late as possible, going into turn 13 there. And that's not always best because it compromises your entry into turn 14. As we head through 15 and 16 now, Blizard and Darren Sinclair. Of course, Blizard could take the championship lead at this rate if that stays the same. Meanwhile, Mays and Humbug still battling it out as they head through turn 15 and through 14 now, and Humbug gets ahead. And I'm not quite sure what happened, but it looks like both drivers sort of missed their braking zone there, and I think Mays is still a bit rattled from the fight with Useless earlier on. But Mays now is going to be the first to jump into the pits. This looks like a scheduled stop, is it? We'll have a see and see if there's any front wing change at all from Mays. Do they have a front wing ready? I don't think they do. Oh, they do have a front wing change. Yes, so Mays goes onto a set of soft tyres, and he'll try and prolong them as long as possible. Away he goes then. Up at the front then, still it is Blizard trying to chase down Darren Sinclair. We'll have a look at 12th place now, because this is the battle between Alan Kay and Plaster. Alan Kay has found a way back past Plaster, and these two are going to battle it out now. I'm not quite sure who this battle is going to hurt more, whether it's going to be Alan Kay or whether it's going to be Plaster. Alan Kay is not going to have these tyres in good nick towards the end of his stint, but Plaster, using his tyres now, is not going to have them towards the end of the race or towards the end of his stint, which is what he'd prefer. So the two of them battling here over 11th place, I don't think it's going to do either of them any good, but it's certainly going to be good for the spectators here. So Alan Kay pulling away now, just about, and we'll keep an eye on that battle and see if anything happens and develops. Traw, meanwhile, heading down and breathing down Light's neck now. And look at that better exit that Traw has got now, heading into turn 17, and they just about keep it clean. And Light here is trying to make it as difficult as possible for Traw, as now Traw will have DRS and will have that slipstream. Light goes defensive into turn 1 here, but now Traw is going to have DRS. Wide open it goes, and I don't think there's a lot Light can do now, as we head side by side into turn 2 now. And well, Traw just about keeps the position. Light did his best there to try and keep that position, but no dice, and Traw moves up into 4th place on those super soft tyres. He's got some good pace on him. Little piece here, heading on to his teammate here, Geordie, as the two of them are in a little bit of a battle here, as Geordie runs very wide there. It's an interesting line from Geordie. May not help the tyres much, but it certainly helped him pull away from Little Piece, as Little Piece does run wide there. We'll have a look at another battle out on the track here. We've got Light here still trying to chase down Traw, but Light runs wide and lights up those rear tyres, and that's not going to help at all there. Useless then on some, well, it says on the telemetry he's on a set of soft tyres, but from the visuals you can clearly see he's on a set of ultras, so hopefully the game sorts itself out there and we can see what sort of tyres he is on. Steph though is in the pause menu right now, whether he's still in this session or not. He's on a set of ultra soft tyres. Weed Nation then still in 18th after that earlier off, as was Baumgartner and Mays and Useless. We're going to have a look on board with Humbug now, who's trying to chase down the Gort. This is the battle for 6th place, as we're on to the 9th lap of the race. Just about a third of the way through now, and all those drivers on ultra soft tyres will be starting to realise that with the Russian Grand Prix, it's very easy on tyre wear, much easier than you would expect. So you can make an ultra soft, super soft stint work. It is going to be difficult and tight, but you can make it work. Humbug runs wide and loses all momentum there. Meanwhile, we're going to jump on board with Little Piece now, trying to chase down Geordie as they're going through turns 2 and 3 now, as Little Piece just about keeps it on track, keeps his momentum going, and you can see there Geordie taking that wider line. and you can see how much time it lost him that time around. But the two Haas teammates aren't going to make it easy for each other, as Little Piece now trying to go down the inside as they head towards turn number 5 now. Can Little Piece get through on Geordie? Yes, he can, and that is a great move from Little Piece. He moves up into 9th place. Can Geordie have anything to say about that? I don't think so. He's not really got a reply, but Little Piece does run wide, and that's going to allow Geordie to catch back up. And we'll see now the two teammates battling in these American-made Haas's. We'll see what happens between those two. But I think for now, Little Piece is just going to get away from Geordie now. Geordie's tyres may be going off, and Little Piece jumps up into 9th place. Humbug then trying to chase down Gort, as we've got the two leaders in the pits now. Darren Sinclair and Blizard both in the pits, and you can see how close they are to each other. But who will get away first? Is it going to be Blizard, or is it going to be Darren Sinclair? As Troll will take the lead. Darren Sinclair just about gets ahead of Blizard again. And, well, that is pretty much a battle for the lead. Troll moves up into the lead of the race on a set of super soft tyres. So he's going to try and get to the end on some ultra soft tyres. Darren Sinclair rejoins in 3rd place for now. Blizard in 4th. As you can see, the McLaren there of Humbug in 5th place. It was important they got in front of him, and now they can start to push on and try and take back and close down the gap on Light, who's currently in 2nd place. Having a look around the other bits of the track here, you can see Blizard and Darren Sinclair on the same tyre there, the Super Softs. Whether that will get them to the end of the race is another question. Meanwhile though, Geordie here is now being closed down by Alan Kay. Battle for 9th place now, as Alan Kay on the slipstream of Geordie. It's quite clear Geordie's tyres are falling away, and Alan Kay will have an opportunity here to try and get past the Haas for 9th place. He'll now try a move. Looked like he was trying a move there, but not quite, as now he's in the slipstream. Is he going to try and move into turn 9 and 10? Sorry, 8 and 9. I'm getting ahead of myself in these corners right now. No, not quite though, as Alan Kay still on the back of Geordie. Meanwhile though, Spike on the back of Paisl's here. And can Spike get past the Sauber man on the soft tyres? We'll have a look at Alan Kay if we can, because he's found a way past Geordie, and Geordie there has not really got the tyres to fight with. Meanwhile though, I've missed 2 battles in quick succession. Spike though gets away past Paisl's there, and up into 6th place he goes. Darren Sinclair then, as Light E comes into the pits, he goes on to a set of super softs as well. So Traw still leads the way. Darren Sinclair is 2nd, Blizard in 3rd, Spike now moves up into 4th, Paisl's is in 5th, Lighty is 6th at the moment, Little Piece jumps him, Alan Kay will then move up into 7th place, Geordie will move up into 8th place for now. Lighty, as he comes around the pit lane, try and rejoin the track. Can he rejoin in front of Plaster here? It's going to be tight, as now they're going to head into turn 2 now. They're going to head into turn 2 side by side, and Light E there, can he get the move done? Can he keep it on the track? Can Plaster find a way past? No, he can't, and Light E holds on to that position. Plaster so close yet so far from getting that position there, but he's on the soft tyres, and just got to focus on keeping those tyres in good nick now. Further down the field, we've got the 2 Mercedes teammates, this time for 15th place, and it's all going to happen all over again. Mays on the soft tyres, the Gort on super soft tyres, and the Gort here will try and find a way past once again. This time they are lower down the field, as the Gort there has a sort of Iron Man style helmet there, as he's trying to close down Mays now into turn number 8 and 9, using as much of the track as possible there, as we head into turn 10 now through the DRS detection point across this 2nd straight now onto lap 12, as this could be a chance here. Darren Sinclair sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:36.9, relatively quick pace there, as the Gort now trying to go around the outside of Mays. Has he got the move done? Yes, just about, as well the Gort lets Mays back through. Gort maybe feeling he didn't overtake him fairly or cleanly, whatever the reason was, as Geordie now comes into the pits from 9th place to he's prolonged those ultra soft tyres for as long as he can, and now he's coming in to just get rid of them. And what tyres will he put on now? Meanwhile, Raikkonen here closing in on Plaster. Plaster's made a mistake, he might have done, because he's closing in on his teammate. Very quickly there is Raikkonen. Plaster not making the corner at all there, has to go wide, and that's going to compromise him. Raikkonen here going to take a wider line to try and close in on Plaster. As the two Red Bulls here on the soft tyres. Plaster runs wide again, and is he just finding a way for Raikkonen to get past? I think that was a really easy move there for Raikkonen. I think that's going to be the easiest move he's made all race, but I think a little bit of team orders came into play there. I think Plaster realised he just wasn't going to have the pace to get past Raikkonen, or at least give him a battle. Just let him through there, and teammates working together there to try and score as many points for the constructors as possible. Meanwhile though, Alan Kay still on a charge. He's now chasing down Littlepiece. 6/10 of a second separates him from the Haas ahead. And remember that penalties will have to be taken into account. Meanwhile though, Humbug is on the back of Useless now. And Blizard sets the fastest lap of the race now, 1:36.8. You can see they're closing in on Troll once again. As we're going to have a look at Alan Kay. I think I've rather switched over a little premature there, but Useless just about holding on. Still, the telemetry says he's on a soft tyre, but you can quite clearly see the purple wall there of the ultra soft tyres. So I'm not quite sure what tyre he's on. Knowing the game, it's probably going to be a super soft tyre he's actually on. Meanwhile then, Alan Kay on the back of Littlepiece, now side by side. They've got someone coming out of the pit lane now. That is Steph, the ghost of Steph. So luckily, not going to interfere too much, but everyone had their hearts in their mouths for a minute there. Alan Kay though still trying to fight Littlepiece here, as Light E wants to join the battle as well. This battle then for 6th place, and you can see now the Ferrari looks up the inside. Are they going to be 3 wide heading into turns 5 now, as Light gets down the inside of Alan Kay and moves himself ahead. Maybe a little hesitant from Alan Kay there, a little mistake from Littlepiece allowed Light E to take advantage of Alan Kay having to take evasive action. Now Light E is going to try and move down the inside of Littlepiece here. Littlepiece runs wide. That's just going to be even more encouraging, as Alan Kay is hungry to try and get past. They make contact, the two of them, and Light E gets past. Alan Kay also gets past Littlepiece, and well, Littlepiece has lost out big time there. A little bit of contact was made, but I'm not sure it was deliberate. Of course it wasn't. And well, Alan Kay here now trying to chase down Light E for position, but he's got to keep an eye on Littlepiece, who's not done there. CG then on the back of Plaster here. Plaster struggling for grip and pace here, as Steph there, the AI running a little wide there, as Plaster defending from CG. CG wanted to get up the inside, and you can see here, look at this train here. We've got Plaster, CG, Humbug and Useless all in that same queue, looking for a way past. Useless here was looking up the inside of Humbug, but we'll see all 4 of them very clearly from this angle, as Plaster currently on that last points position. CG then is going to have a move up the inside, and as all 4 cars go through now, can they keep it clean now? We've got the other camera angle. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 2. No, they're not. But look at the pace Humbug has going into turn 2 now. Useless and Plaster looks like they came together there, and Plaster's lost 3 positions in one straight. He's really struggling for pace out there, and that may be the wear on the soft tyres right now, but he's lost a huge amount of time there, that is for sure. The Gort then looks to be the next one to try and get past Plaster here, but Mays is also trying to close in as well. So this is all a train for 10th place, believe it or not. Humbug leading this train now from CG, from Useless, from Plaster, from the Gort, and then Mays just on the tail end. As we'll see a lot more battling happening here. Humbug's still leading this train. They'll all get DRS off each other apart from Mays, who is currently 1.4 behind his teammate. So they're all just going to get a load of tow from each other as we head into turn 13 now. Is anyone going to try and move? They're all going to stay single file, it looks like. as Plaster still struggling for grip, and we've got the Gort here trying to move down the inside, heading into turn 15 now, into 16 as Plaster got the grip to hold on just about. Bit of wheel banging there going on, but the Gort has got the traction, and heading into turn 17 now as Plaster has the move, and we've got yellow flags out there. I'm not sure who it was, but the Gort finds a way past Plaster. We've got yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3, and that's Geordie. Geordie has hit the wall and has decided to retire from the session, so that is him done for the day. Useless then still on the tail of this is CG here, battle for 10th place. Keeping clean here at the moment is Useless. Was up towards 5th place and 4th place trying to battle them, but a mistake or collision between Mays early on meant he had to have an early stop, so he's just trying to claw back the positions and claw back any points he can. Of course, that's easier said than done. I want to give a huge shout to Traw here, who's done 15 laps on those super soft tyres. So I wonder then if it's possible to do a one-stop at that pace and that wear level. I don't think it is. I think it is going to be a two-stop in this race then. So then Traw comes in, and so he's now going to have 2 ultras off stints towards the end of the race to do the other half of the race on those tyres. Meanwhile then, Useless and CG fighting side by side as they got the other train of cars behind them, and you can see here the Gort down the inside of CG, and he moves up as a position now, and the Gort's experience here paying off well here as he's now round the final corner into the slipstream with Useless. He goes, Useless breaking that slipstream however he can, and this train here still going down to 14th place here. You can see the 5 of them as the Useless there goes very, very defensive, trying to defend that inside line as much as he can, and the Gort there just about keeps it on track as Plaster runs very wide. It's going to be very close here, but the Gort has the move done. Useless is trying to find a way past, but not quite, and Mays here could now have an opportunity to try and get past Useless as well, as we're heading into turn number 5 now. You can see the train here. That's Steph in the Renault in the background. He's quite a way behind now. I think he's 2 laps down on the leader, maybe a lap down due to him being away, which is unfortunate for him, but he's still going to have a look, that is for sure, and all 5 of them are going to make it awkward for each other, as Steph here is now going to try and move on Plaster here. Is he? Well, yes, he is. Look at this. Steph here, he may be a lap down, but he's trying his best here to try and unlap himself from everybody. So he's starting now with Plaster, as he is still behind him right now. It's unfortunate for Steph. Not sure what happened. He was a ghost for a majority of this race. He's now come back, and a huge amount of oversteer there as he's pushing the car as hard as he can now. Meanwhile then, up at the front, Darren Sinclair still leads the way from Blizard. Around about 8/10 separates them right now. Keep an eye on Traw, who's on the ultra soft tyres. He will try and close the gap. He's about 21 seconds behind, maybe 22 seconds behind. So of course he will try and have that pace towards the end here. Mays then on the back of Useless. Can he find a way past? The Gort has his teammate, but now Mays needs to find a way past as well. And what can he do from this position now? Chasing down Useless. He's got to find a way past if he wants to score some points for Mercedes and himself. Little Piece then on the back of Weed Nation. And Little Piece here could find a way past the soft tyres of Weed Nation. Weed Nation hitting the wall early on in this race. As we can see here, the battle between the ultra softs and the softs. I don't think it's going to last too long, this battle, that's for sure, as Little Piece here is still in the slipstream of Weed Nation, as he's going to try and look down the inside going into turn 5, but not quite, as he backs out of the move. As I'm changing the wrong thing here. There we go, the interval between each other. Oh, wee Little Piece there, having to take evading action there to avoid the car ahead, Weed Nation. It's find ourselves another battle to ride on board with. Still, Mays is behind Useless right now, but you can see there, Useless putting up a huge fight. Still, we're unsure about what tyres Useless is actually on, but knowing the game, he is probably on a set of super softs. Whatever tyre he is on, Mays is closing. So I highly doubt he's on the ultra soft tyres if Mays is able to keep up with him like this. Regardless, Mays here on the back of Useless, and Useless here might not have a lot to defend with. He'll go to the inside to defend as much as possible. Mays braking much later as he's round the outside, and he will have the inside going into turn number 3. You could see there how much he's trying to hold on is Useless, but I don't think that's going to be enough for him to defend, and there is a position for Mays. He's now up into 10th place. Doesn't get the best exit heading out of turn 4. Useless will have another chance to sort of redeem himself there. Unfortunately though, he can't. He's lost the position to Mays. He's not going to give up though, that's for sure. You can see him still pushing on and trying to get away past. Meanwhile though, Humbug on Raikkonen here. I think Humbug on some softer tyres than Raikkonen. Into the DRS zone he goes, and what will he do? Will he try and move going into 13 here as we head through turn 12? Very easy to lock up going into turn 13 there, and Humbug there just taking it easy going through these corners now, chasing the ever-experienced Raikkonen here for the position here for 7th place. And as we head through 15 and 16 now, as Humbug still on the back of him, as Blizard now is 4 seconds behind Darren Sinclair, so he must have made a mistake up at the front there for Darren Sinclair to get away like that. Not over yet though, of course. We've still got around about 9 laps to go in this race. Darren Sinclair leading the way, Blizzard 2nd, Spike in 3rd, Traw is in 4th there, and Light is in 5th, Pays was 6th, Raikkonen in 7th, Humbug 8th, we're riding a ball with right now, the Gort's in 9th, Mays is in 10th, Useless 11th, CG 12th, Blasters 13th, Baumgartner 14th, Alan K 15th, Little P 16th, Weed Nation 17th, Steph in 18th there, and our only retirement has been Geordie so far. He will be in 19th. Meanwhile though, Humbug now trying to look down the inside of Raikkonen. He tries a move, has a look, backs out of it though, and Raikkonen does well to defend from him. They're both trying to chase down Pazels, who is yet to make a stop. He's been on those soft tyres from the very beginning. He'll just use the ultra softs towards the end of the race, so it'll be interesting to see how he does on that strategy. Raikkonen runs very wide though, and Humbug, I think that's one of the easiest moves he's had all race, as he gets past Raikkonen. Raikkonen making a huge mistake there, running wide, and now he's under pressure now from the Gort there, I do believe, who has a little bit of lag there. But you'll see now the Gort chasing. Raikkonen won't be happy with himself. In fact, he'll be angry with himself for making a mistake like that. He'll be now trying to chase down Humbug for that position back. Meanwhile then, Useless and Mays still fighting. There's Mays. I was wondering where he was, and he smacks into the side of Useless's tyre there. Not much room for error between these two, but Mays still stays ahead of Useless. Useless fighting back here as he wants that last points position. And this battle for 10th place is going to heat up towards the end of the race. 8 laps to go, and Useless here into the DRS zone he'll go. That half scared me though, I will say, trying to look for Mays in that camera angle. Meanwhile though, the Gort is trying to move down the inside of Raikkonen. Can he get the move done? Raikkonen and the Gort make contact. Raikkonen gets away. The Gort rather backs off just to accommodate for him, and that's for fair driving from the Gort there. Realised he just didn't make the corner, ran Raikkonen out of road, and just let him have that position there. Useless though is still on the back of Mays. Meanwhile, Humbug on the back of Pazels. Of course, Pazels is still yet to stop, so he's doing a mega job out there with those tyres. They must be screaming for him to come into the pits right now, but I'm not sure if I'm not really too sure if Pazels, well, the game does like to freak out sometimes if you start on a set of soft tyres, as Humbug goes down the inside of Pazels here. Pazels still has the inside corner, but backs out of it as Humbug runs slightly wide. Pazels may have an opportunity to find a way past once again, and he does try. A little piece, though, has retired from the session. What's happened to him? He's hit the wall heading out of turn 9 there. That's an odd place to lose the car. Did he make contact with someone? Have we got a bit of front wing damage for anybody at all? I'm not quite sure. It doesn't look like it. Just trying to think where Little Piece was. But I can't think of it. Paisl's then finally into the pits, and on will go, and a set of ultra soft tyres. He's done very well on those soft tyres. Now it's time for him to have so much more pace than he's had recently in this race. Off he goes then, and he'll be trying to set fastest laps after fastest laps for the remaining 7 laps of this race. All to do though, because he's now down in 14th place as he'll head out of the pit lane now. Back on track he rejoins in front of Weed Nation, and Cam Paisl's here come away with a point. He's got to push on though. He hasn't got a lot of time to do it. The Gort then on the back of Raikkonen here as Raikkonen picks up another penalty. All those penalties will add up towards the end of the race. The Gort then, there's less pressure on him to overtake Raikkonen, but he'll want to try and chase down Humbug. So can he do it this time around? Raikkonen on the soft tyres, the Gort on the super softs, as the internet sort of freaks out for a second there, as the Gort here just trying to take it easy, use a bit of racecraft here, and see if Raikkonen will make a mistake. As Traw here still on those ultra soft tyres, trying to close in on Spike here. Darren Sinclair leads the way still. Blizzard in 2nd, Spike in 3rd, Traw is in 4th, Light is in 5th, Humbug 6th, Raikkonen 7th. The Gort is in 8th, who we're riding on board with right now. Then we have Maze in 9th, Useless 10th, CG 11th, Alan K 12th, Baumgartner 13th, Paisl's 14th, Weed Nation 15th, Blaster 16th, Little Piece who's retired from the session in 17th, Steph 18th, who's a couple of laps down, and Geordie 19th. And then the Gort then has a look up the inside of Raikkonen there, and we might have another go here as the two of them make contact once again, and the Gort just backs off once again. He's just not happy with himself making those moves into turn 1, and well, it's definitely fair in terms of him backing out of the move, but well, the Gort here is only trying to find a way past into turn 1 here. So then, we're having a look at other what am I saying? Other battles out on track. At the moment, the closest battle is between these two for 7th place. Raikkonen and the Gort fighting over 7th place. Not many laps now left to go, as the Gort here still trying to chase down Raikkonen. They're now going to head towards turn 13, and for the Gort, the chances are running out for him to try and get away past. Again, he'll just stay on the back of Raikkonen for now, and look to try and probe a mistake from Raikkonen. And we'll see what he can do now, as he's lost the back end there. That's not going to help him at all. May have just dropped a gear as he just lit those rear tyres up, and that's not going to help him whatsoever. Can he stay in DRS zone though from Raikkonen? Across the line, he's 5/10 back so far. DRS activation point is around about now, as so he will have DRS. Open it goes down the main straight after turn 1, but that has cost him a lot of time. Meanwhile then, Traw is 2 seconds back from Spike. You can see Spike up ahead, as Paisl's here is now on the back of Baumgartner. Now he's up into 13th place. He's still got a lot to do, with not many laps to do it, as we have around about 5 laps to go. So he's got to make these moves quickly now. The Gort then side by side with Raikkonen. That earlier mistake didn't hurt the Gort in the end. He's managed to find a way past Raikkonen, and up into 7th place the Gort goes. Now he's got to try and chase down Humbug. 4.2 seconds separates him from Humbug. So he's got a lot to do, and again, not a lot of time to do it. He might just focus on getting that car home and holding off Raikkonen till the end of the race. Raikkonen then won't be happy with himself, as will he try and move down the inside into turn 13 here? No, he won't. Meanwhile though, Paisl's running slightly wide there as he's trying to find a way past Baumgartner. Well, Baumgartner here is still defending from Pazels, and the more Pazels stays behind Baumgartner, the more he's hurting his tyres. He's got to try and get past as soon as he can with 4 laps to go. Baumgartner uses the inside to defend here, and can Pazels find a way past? He'll try and use the outside going into 14 here, but no dice as Pazels stays behind once again. Baumgartner runs wide going into 15. That may help Pazels into 16 here. He will have the better drive going into turn 17. He had the inside line but backed out of it, gave Baumgartner the corner, and this will be the best chance Pazels has of the race of getting past Baumgartner now. In the slipstream he goes, and the DRS will open now as he heads around turn 1 there with Weed Nation closing in as well. And then now side by side as they head in towards turn 2. As Baumgartner runs slightly wide, and Pazels here is going to be made to go the long way around Baumgartner here into turn 3, and that's not ideal at all. Tyres will be screaming at you for doing that as Baumgartner keeps trying to defend the inside line. Now Pazels has the best traction coming out of turn 4 here, and you can see there Baumgartner holding his own out there. He's not willing to let Pazels through. Meanwhile then, Weed Nation is closing in on those two now, so this battle for 12th place is heating up now. 3 laps to go. We're going to have a look quickly just on board with Traw now, who's managed to close the gap on Spike here. This is the battle for 3rd place. Weed Nation here still on the back of Pazels, as now he's going to try and move. He's closed up so much that he's got now DRS on Pazels on those soft tyres now. This is a disaster for Pazels. This is not what he wanted in this fight now, but he'll manage to hold off for now. And Baumgartner still trying to hold the inside line here. Traw then still on the back of Spike as we head through turn number 7 there into 8 and 9 now, as Spike holding on to his tyres for as long as he possibly can, as we see here the battle for 12th place between Baumgartner, Pazels and Weed Nation as they head on to the main straight now. 3 laps to go still. Traw then still having a go then on Spike, and Traw here has not got much time left. He needs to try and make a move and make it quick, as Pazels picks up a 3-second time penalty, battling over 12th place. You'll see here Baumgartner still holding his own out there between Pazels and Weed Nation. That battle heating up. Mays now catching up to the back of Raikkonen, and that's going to be a grandstand finish for 8th place, as Traw here now onto the start finish straight. 2 laps to go now, and he's in the slipstream of Spike. Traw, can he get a move into the podium spot? Spike is going to try and hold on for dear life. He hasn't tried to break the slipstream. He's now going to try and hold the outside line. Traw had a look and didn't go for it, as Spike holds on to 3rd place for now. Meanwhile though, Mays on the back of Raikkonen now. This is the battle for 8th place, and for Mays this is valuable points as Raikkonen hits the wall. He's hit the wall now, and that's going to be a loss of downforce, a huge loss of downforce for Raikkonen. But can he hold on for dear life now, as Useless could have a look here up into 10th place. If Raikkonen's front wing is going to cause him so much despair here, this could be a huge moment for Useless. He could find himself up to 9th place if he plays his cards right. But Mays here, meanwhile, has to try and find a way past Raikkonen. Less downforce is going to hurt him the most through turn 3. He's not going to be able to turn the wheel as much as he used to. Well, he's holding on still, so that's good for Raikkonen. The front wing isn't as badly damaged as maybe I first thought, but he's still going to try and hold off Mays for as long as he can. Mays had a look down the inside, but no dice. Meanwhile, Traw here on the back of Spike. Meanwhile, though, Darren Sinclair starts the final lap of the race. I'll keep an eye on him as we try and look at all the battles around. Spike fighting with Traw for 3rd place. Mays here on the back of Raikkonen. He runs into the back of Raikkonen there, just trying to get so close, as he wants that 8th place. He wants those points for Mercedes, as does the Gort. And at this point, what do you say? Do you say to yourself, fight for the position, or do you want the points, more of them? As Pazels here trying to get past Baumgartner. Mays here now down the outside. That will become of Raikkonen. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Mays moves ahead of Raikkonen. Meanwhile then, Spike fighting Traw. We'll have a look where Darren Sinclair is. He's coming through turn number 7 right now, heading into 8 and 9. So we'll keep an eye on him. Spike then still trying to hold off of Traw here. Traw has got to be now or never now, as Spike does lock up, heading into turn number 5 through 6 and 7 now. Traw is right on the back of Spike, as now, look at that, look how much he can break before Traw now, as he's got the better tyres, as he can stop the car much quicker than Spike can now. But Spike holding on for dear life as we head through into the second DRS activation zone. We'll have a look on board with Darren Sinclair, because he's led the way pretty much from start to finish. He's not had much screen time, but he's put in a solid job today. He's rounding the last 2 corners now, and now Spike and Traw still trying to battle, as I'm trying to keep an eye on both of them. But Darren Sinclair takes the checkered flag. He will win in Russia. Now we're having a look at Traw and Spike here. A huge battle there. Blizard comes home in second, and we're now going to have a look and see whether Spike can hold off of Traw. Traw goes down the inside into turn 17, now through into 18 there. Spike ghosts from the car, and they're going to finish. And Spike ran out of fuel. Spike ran out of fuel as he crossed the line. Traw will take 3rd place. Grandstand finish or what? Spike runs out of fuel on the last corner, and it costs him 3rd place. Light then in Ferrari will come home in 5th place there. Humbug in the McLaren, rounding turn number 16 there into 17 and then 18. It's been a good day for Humbug. He's had a solid race today. He'll come home and finish in 6th place. The Gort then finishes in 7th. Mays rounding the last corner. He's going to come across the line in 8th place. Raikkonen could have been a better day, but he'll drop because of penalties. Useless up at the 9th. Raikkonen then in 10th place. Alan Kay is going to come home in 11th place, as Raikkonen actually drops to 11th place. So Alan Kay picks up the last point. CG then coming around the final few corners as Weed Nation moves ahead of Pazels. And they'll finish like that. But your winner today for round 4 of TTL here in Russia is Darren Sinclair. Well, he led from start to finish. Darren Sinclair with the win today. Blizard takes 2nd, and Traw just about gets the last place on the podium. Darren Sinclair, though, your winner today. So the official, unofficial results. Darren Sinclair takes the win. Blizard there in 2nd. Traw is in 3rd. Spike in 4th. Light finishes in 5th. Humbug in 6th. The Gort in 7th. Mays in 8th. Useless in 9th. Alan Kay picks up the last point in 10th. Raikkonen 11th. CG in 12th. Weed Nation 13th. Baumgartner 14th. Pacers in 15th. Plaster 16th. Steph is in 18th. The 2 Haas's there finishing in 18th and 19th. Still Haas yet to score a point this season. Well, that was round 4 in Russia, and well, it was a good race all around the field there. Fantastic racing from everybody there. Round 5 is in Catalonia in Spain, so I hope you can join us for that one. Until Spain, though, I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Until Spain, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.